Hey guys, welcome back to the new season of Fire Fan tutorials, and in this season we're gonna be learning super easy, super fun free fan juggling. But don't switch off yet, because in this lesson you're gonna be able to follow all the exercises even if you have only two fans. So even if you don't have third fan yet, that's just fine. Today we're gonna be learning some easy passes between like one hand and the other that anyone can learn. You don't have to be a pro, don't be scared, just try it. And we will be doing some preparation exercises for like this for the free fan cascade, which is super cool and super easy, not super easy but super cool fan move with three fans. Let's get started. The lessons in this season will be more like workshops rather than tutorials like before. So I kind of expect you to grab your fans and follow along like you would do in a normal workshop at a festival or something. And so at the moment, feel free to warm up your wrists, your fingers and your elbows a little bit. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. If you like the video, like it, or you can even support these videos by buying me a cup of coffee, a link below. And while you're warming up, allow me to kind of tell you a little personal story of how did I get into free fan juggling. Basically, like, I've been trying to juggle some fans for years, and while it was kind of fun to discover everything by myself, actually I wasted a lot of time and like dealt a lot of damage to my hands by just doing, like, not understanding what am I doing actually. So I would like try to do tricks which are really hard and like would be stuck for years trying to do them but unsuccessfully, or I would like crash my hands and like I wouldn't do anything for a couple of weeks or something like this. So fortunately for you, I kind of figured out the easy tricks that to start and the right ways to catch the fans and to toss the fans without too much like damage to your hands. So that's why I kind of thought I ought to make these lessons and share with you the tricks and little tips that I learned in my kind of free fan journey. So I would like to share it with you, and hopefully you won't have to like suffer as much as I did with these free fans. Yep. Perhaps the most important advice I can give you is that you have to wisely choose your fans that you will use for free fan juggling. Here I'm gonna be using the steel fans, they're kind of made of steel like this, but this is a bad choice for the beginner. Actually, what I advise you to do is to find some kind of wooden fans. They are usually lighter and softer. The wood is softer in general, and moreover they're kind of a little bit wider, so when they land on your hand, on your fingers, it's not as painful as it is with the metal thin, like rigid, spokes. And also, like, if you can get a fan with some kind of safety soft parts here and here on the ring, that's better for you, because it will also save you a lot of pain and like will help you to get started much easier. These ones are from Uncle Julian, but it's not really ad or anything. Like, consider buying whatever fans you can get. But yeah, use the lighter fans and it will be much easier for you. Don't use metal at the beginning. Let me also remind you a bit of fan theory. As you know, there are two grips that you have to consider, like a closed grip like this and the open grip when your hand goes to the ring from like here to there. So, and in free fan juggling it's basically the same thing. You have like closed grip tosses when you toss from the closed grip, and closed grip catches when you catch into the closed grip. Likewise, you have open grip tosses when you like toss from the open grip and when you catch into the open grip as well. So it's kind of open grip catch. Thus today we're gonna be considering only the closed grip, because this is a little bit easier and a little bit like less harmful for your hands, and like open grips we will consider a bit later. The exercise number 1. This is very fundamental exercise for fan tosses. Actually, we did it in the previous tutorials as well, but please do it again here, and let me explain some like things that are really important for the free fans. So the exercise is just like this, just tossing the fan with half turn slightly above your head from one hand to another, from the closed grip into the closed grip, like so. Here I want you to pay special attention on doing kind of a pendulum move as you catch the fan, like so. This is like really important with free fans, because what you want to do in general when you do the free fan juggling, you want to kind of dissipate the energy of falling fan into some move rather than into your hand directly. So you want to minimize the impact on your hand, on your fingers, and that's why you kind of have to, you know, like absorb the energy into some kind of move, and then acquire the momentum to toss it back, because it's kind of hard to toss it just like this. You have to kind of gain the momentum with this move. So you're kind of gaining momentum, tossing, catching, releasing the energy. Tossing, catching, like dissipating the energy with the pendulum, like so. So practice it for a little while until you feel that you are really like not catching like hard, in a hard way. Sometimes, I mean, obviously you can kind of catch it just like this, but if you do it, you will feel that you kind of crushed your hands into the ring, and it's kind of a little bit unpleasant. Well, when you will be tossing free fans, you will be doing it over and over and over again, and sometimes you will do like higher tosses, and the unpleasantness will be much bigger. So take your time to practice this kind of exercise with one fan first, and then let's go to two fans. Here's what I want you to try with two fans. The very important thing in free fan juggling is a concept of kind of finisher. So when you do some trick, but at some point you want to kind of finish it, and just catch all three fans, and inevitably one of your hands must have two fans. And so today we'll consider the finisher with close grip, like this. Basically, the preparation exercises for that is like so. You are holding your fan with open grip, it's just like hanging on your palm, basically. And another fan is tossing the half-turn toss into this hand, and you are catching it and penduluming it to release the energy. Then you're tossing it back. And again, catch it, toss it back. If you're not quite sure what is happening with this hand, you can check one of the previous tutorials about one-hand tricks, but I will explain it right now anyway. So, how do you exactly catch the fan with your right hand? Here, as I said, I'm holding the fan like this, and I'm kind of pressing the ring a little bit here, so that it's locked between my palm and my wrist here, so that it kind of really firmly held here. And the other fan is landing in front of this fan here, not on the fingers, because it can be a little bit painful if it hits against the other fan, but somewhere here on the palm. And then I grab it with the fingers in such a way that I press the ring against the other ring, so together they form this kind of stable construction, so that the fan doesn't fall down. It kind of remains up like this. So once again, I'm kind of tossing it and catching it really firmly, and then I'm doing a pendulum. I'm kind of starting doing a pendulum as I catch, actually, to get rid of all this energy of the fallen fan, like so. Try it with both hands, and if you have already free fans, you can try it with kind of free fans. Hold two fans in one hand, and here the same hand with open grip, and just toss the fan between one hand and the other, like so. If you can do that, congratulations, that's your first free fan trick. So it's a very a bare variation of this trick, and but you already can kind of a little bit choreograph this move and to do something cool, and you can do it with more space and so on. But still, what I want you to pay attention is to release the energy and feel no pain as you catch. You can feel some uncomfortable feeling when you're kind of holding this fan with your tongue, That's normal. But you shouldn't be feeling any kind of pain when you catch. It shouldn't strike into your palm, like so. Once you are comfortable with this exercise, here is a little bit more like advanced level. Okay, so once you are able to do this trick just like this, first of all, consider like tossing it really higher. That's already kind of a good exercise. But I mean, toss it higher, but keep half a turn at first. We will go to the like full turn in just a minute. So the advanced version of this trick is with kind of the turn like this, and it already makes this trick look a little bit more interesting. Here, basically, as I toss the fan, I also am doing the turn of the fan on my hand that is waiting for the fan. So I actually start the turn a bit in advance. So I'm kind of at the same time turning and tossing it, like so. Once again, the turn happens here between like two fans and my body. It's kind of a negative space, sort of, like so. And again here, and again here. If you are really a hardcore fan spinner and you already mastered this move, you can also try even more like difficult variation where your fan doesn't spin just here in between fan and the body, but spins in between the two fans. So while the fan is flying, it kind of passes between these two fans, like so. It looks a little bit more like interesting because it's not immediately obvious that it passed between the fan and kind of more fun to do it this way. So now let's do some more interesting things. By the way, before we pass to more interesting things, here's also a variation with the pirouette. Kind of you are doing this thing as we did before, but you can also do like a pirouette and continue the move. So here, instead of releasing the energy into the pendulum kind of, you are releasing the energy into the kind of rotation with the pirouette. So you're kind of diving, you know, under the elbow, which holds both two fans, like so, and doing a turn. And from there you continue. The fan that's not, I mean the hand that's not holding two fans is just doing kind of a weave, like so. So you can start like this and like this. Again, if you're bored already with that, your homework would be to learn to toss outside. Like so. Like so. Oops. Now let's try the same exercise as we did before for half turn tosses, like so. But now with the full toss, like this, with a full turn toss. Like this. Here the fan is doing the full turn and returns to the other hand. So I toss with a close grip with right hand and catch with close grip with left hand. And vice versa. Like so. Here I'm tossing the fan even higher than before. Like even higher than my head, like much above, like really. Because actually, the higher you toss, the more time your brain has to process the trajectory of the falling fan and to kind of catch it successfully. Surprisingly also, when you do like free fan juggling, actually this full turn toss will be easier than the half turn toss because it's more stable the more it rotates. For this reason, you will grow to love this trick a lot. It's also a very useful trick for the like simple two fan spinning, so it's really worth learning this tosses with the full turn, like so. You'll probably not get it like in the first day. I mean, you won't be able to do it like right now, super clean, but as you do it day by day, just like 5 minutes a day, you will see that in a week you will kind of get it. So, and another important concept that you have to understand here, that ideally, well, you would think that you have to toss it right up, like exactly above your head, and like to catch it on the other side, like so. But the fans are so big, unlike all other props, like, you know, balls and clubs and rings, that they tend to crash in the air. Like whatever, however nicely you toss them, it's really unlikely that they will kind of pass by each other in an ideal plane. So you always want to avoid even like giving them opportunity to like cross each other. So I always like assign certain space for certain fan, and the fans don't go to space of each other, almost never. So for example, if I'm tossing the right fan, I'm tossing it into like a left space, more like here. If I'm tossing like left fan, I'm tossing it to the right space, like so. This way the fans will never like intersect, and they will never crash into each other, which like happens all the time. And here also, while you're doing this exercise, pay attention on how you compensate this energy of the fan with your pendulum. This is most important here. Like, don't just catch it and toss it again, but really catch it into the pendulum, and on the swing back, toss it again. Like so. I mean, do it until you feel that you are really not like receiving any heat into your hand as you catch it. That it's really relaxing move, you know. That you'll be able to just watch your favorite series while you do it. Once you get comfortable with that move, let's continue with something more fun. So, now let's try the same exercise as we did before with half tosses and two fans, but with full turn tosses, like so, and the catch. Once again, you toss it the other hand, and you toss it back into the hand here. Basically, it's the same as we did before. But here, what you have to learn is what is called finisher. Basically, this move is always served as kind of a, you know, final ending move of the sequence. So it's like a bam, and that's kind of done, you know. So this is important to get it right, because this is where most of the damage happens to your hand. Because when you kind of juggle, it's kind of fine, but when you have to do this final ending and finally catch two fans in one hand, that becomes the most kind of dangerous part. So that's why I want to emphasize this trick. Here I have to give you like a little pro tip. So you will notice that when you toss, when you toss your fan and you catch it like this, it will be hard to go into the pendulum. That is, even if you do the pendulum, the energy of the fan will not be dissipated into the pendulum, because you already like got it all into your flat palm here. So kind of it will be really hard to kind of catch it like this into the pendulum. Most likely you will get it directly from the top to the bottom, like hit like this. So, and that hit is not so pleasant. Our goal is kind of to avoid hitting your hands too hard, because it will be problematic if you have to do it over and over. Here is what I do. I will try to reproduce it, kind of, nope. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works. You could hear now, like when the hit, like a sound like this, it's when one handle hits the other handle and then kind of slides down to my hand. In this way, basically most of the energy of the falling fan dissipates into the metal frame of the other fan, and my hand received no blow. This is how kind of, you see now it kind of was kind of this sound of my flash receiving the fan. Now it was a proper sound of fan like hitting the other fan, and so all the energy goes to the other fan. That's a really kind of great way to minimize the damage, so it's good. Like before I told you that you have to catch by your palm here, but it's not exactly true. Sometimes it's best if you can like maybe even move the fan a little bit like this and hit one fan with the other, so that all the energy is dissipated. So try this trick like several times until you get comfortable with that. You can also like do it with like free fans as well. You see, the sound is like this. That's it. Now let's try my favorite exercise for two fan like full tosses, full turn tosses like this. These tosses are really fundamental for free fan juggling, so you really have to learn them very well. Moreover, they are very useful even for regular two fan spinning. Like you're doing some spinning and suddenly you're like pam pam pam, and then you're doing some trick and pam pam pam. Looks super cool. So these like tosses are really great. This is how the exercise goes. Your fan goes more to the right side, like with with a full turn toss, and your left hand goes more to the right side. Then left hand is catching the right fan, and right fan is catching left fan. So right, left, left, right. Once again, right, left, left, right. So toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. I mean, the kind of second catch happens almost at the same time as the toss. Like a toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. Something like this. And to get the most of this exercise, you have to change right and left hand, like which one starts. Basically, if you start with the right hand, like right, left, then you have a really good timing and really good swinging of hands to start with the left. So you start with left, right, pam, pam, then right, left, pam, pam, left, right. Notice how I do the pendulums to keep the proper timing and release the energy of the falling fan. So never forget about the pendulums. First of all, it simply looks better. Secondly, it's actually really easier because you kind of spend less of your own strength to toss the fan and to catch the fan. So you're more relying on just energy conservation of the move. So never forget to pay attention to these pendulums. Like so. 1, 2. So this exercise might be hard to get right away, like right now, but once again, you have to practice it like day by day, like 5 minutes a day, and by the end of the week you will notice that you are actually doing it really well. So I don't expect like any of you to do cascade just today after watching this video, during watching this video, but unless you're a juggler or something. But actually it's not that hard. It's doable, and it's doable within like 2 weeks of practice. I mean, how much time is that? 2 weeks of practice, right? So yeah, so let's do the cascade finally. So to do the cascade with free fans, I mean the cascade is this move. It's kind of for cascade or inside cascade or free in side swap terminology. Basically, you have to first do the preparation exercise. It's a little exercise that allows you to do kind of mini cascade. The exercise looks like this: right, left, catch. So you do the starting move, one cascade, and finisher. So the finisher we kind of already learned. It's the move when you kind of tossing one fan and catching it with the other. With three fans, a bit tricky, but so with the starting move though, is like this. I'm holding like two fans on one hand here, and the fan that is closer, to my thumb I'm holding by the thumb actually, so that it doesn't fly anywhere. But this outer fan on my fingers is the one that I'm going to toss. So I'm swinging my hand. Once again, all the tosses actually done with more like a shoulder or with the elbow, a little bit with the wrist, but not primarily with the wrist. Like most of the energy should come from a swinging motion. Otherwise, I mean, you won't be able to do it otherwise because they're heavy. And I know that most of my viewers are like women, so really maybe it will be hard for you. So try to do it with swinging and with elbow, like additional toss with the elbow, additional energy with the elbow, a little bit with the wrist for like rotation maybe. So I'm kind of tossing this one while I'm keep holding the one that is close to my thumb here. So once again, I'm tossing this one, then the left one, and then I catch. Basically, it's exactly the same exercise as the one we did just before with just 2 fans. But this time I'm holding another fan in my right arm, right hand. Pum, pum, finisher. So it's a combination of previous 2 exercises essentially. 1, 2, finisher. Turn. Here it's important to understand that while I am tossing the left one, I am actually, once I tossed the first fan there, this one I flip to get an open grip. Maybe it's not very obvious, but indeed I'm kind of to receive the final fan into the right hand, I need to have an open grip. So I'm flipping my hand to receive it with the open grip. Of course, you can do some cool move, like this and receive it, but I guess, let me try. Oh, that's really hard. No, don't do it, it's really fun, but hard. So, once again, your final homework exercise should be starting with 2 fans in one hand, left hand with one, right, left, finish. Right, left, finish. Once you are comfortable with this kind of exercise, you can keep adding additional tosses like right, left, finish. So it's really essential that you every time start learning how you finish the move. Because if you keep dropping every time on the floor, first of all you will destroy your floor, and then you will not learn how to nicely catch. But with free fans it's kind of essential because when you're doing balls or clubs or rings or poi even, you can just keep going. You can just keep doing your weaves, meltdowns and not meltdowns, windmills and stuff like this, and keep going, tossing free poi or free balls, and that's fine. But with fans it's not really gonna work because they're quite heavy and it takes some effort to transfer from one trick to another trick. So, and it takes some kind of additional swing to start the next trick. Especially when you have to start with 2 fans in one hand, it takes some swing to start tossing the first fan. That's why we always do one trick, then collect. Do some nice thing, and then start the next trick. Receive blow in the face, collect, and start the next trick. Do something else. Bum. That was a terrible example though, but you get the idea that we always do the trick, collect, start the other trick. Yeah, that's why learning to do this, collecting all fans, it's really essential. So in the next tutorials we're gonna be learning how to do similar things but in side plane, or even with some open grips and stuff, so don't miss it out. Please comment down below, how do you think, what do you think about this new format of workshops? Is it more comfortable for you to just follow the lesson as I'm kind of talking, or it's more comfortable for you just watch a short 5-minute stuff, really edit it, and then kind of just do it by yourself? I thought that might be a good format for you because you can just do your practice session as you watch the video, basically. Yeah, anyway, so thank you for watching. Subscribe, donate, and comment what you like, what you don't like, and see you next time.